Homeschool curriculum is a hot topic in the homeschooling world, and so especially for beginners, they don't know where to start, what to use, where to look, and things of that nature. So in today's video, I'll be sharing my homeschool curriculum picks for my 6 and 5-year-old who are currently working on the 1st and 2nd grade level. So if you're new here, I share my homeschool curriculum picks every year, but I was like, this year I'm not going to share because nothing has really changed. And I was like, I kind of fell into the hamster wheel of posting as soon as everyone else started posting. So back in April, or every year March, April is where curriculum brands that sell curriculum do the big sales and things of that nature, and so all of the homeschool families usually start posting really quickly. And so I was like, I'm not falling into that this year. So here we are. It is August the 21st and we have started back homeschooling, and I was like, let me just share what we have. I don't think it's too extravagant, but again, if you are a beginner and don't know where to start or just looking for recommendations, I'll share what we have here. So first I'm going to go with my 2nd grader. I have most of the stuff that she's going to be using here, and then we're going to like, I'm not going to say freestyle a few things, but for the most part, this is what we have. So for math, I've done reviews on the Math with Confidence. Love it. We did the 1st grade level for her, and then last year we did the kindergarten level for my 1st grader now. So we love Math with Confidence. If you want to see a flip through of that, I'll link the video. For the language arts, we use the Good and the Beautiful. For one, because it's free. 2, I was like, we're on a budget this year, and like I said, my girls pick up on things really quickly. So it's like the things that they see in there, they grasp, and I just add anything that I need, you know, as far as supplementing or things like that. But I am considering a new curriculum, but I won't be purchasing it until maybe the beginning of January, I would say. But the Good and the Beautiful has worked for us. It's not as challenging as I would like it to be. My daughter can read everything that I'm supposed to read to her, and I dislike that part, that it's all like on one, you know, like it's very scripted, you know, it's a read to the child and things of that nature. But my 2nd grader, she'll read my part and her part, and so it's like, I love that she can read and be independent, but I also want to, like, you know, sometimes challenge her, and I can't really do it in that manner unless I'm doing things like my own activities. But again, it's free to be printed off online, multiple grades and things of that nature. So we've been using that so far. We don't use the readers or anything like that, but it's a lot of free resources, and if you're just getting started, I think it's a good thing to check out, right? So that's that. Math with Confidence. Language arts is the Good and the Beautiful. We are adding something new this year. We're adding in Spanish. So I have this workbook, the complete Spanish workbook, that I really love. If y'all want to flip through this, just let me know. It's really nice. I was like, I took I took Spanish for 2 years in college, and I'm like, you know what, I really don't remember it. And my thing was, I could read it really well, but I couldn't really like speak it, unless it was something like basic, like what's your name, or you know, things of that nature. So I'm really excited to like relearn the Spanish with them. And so this workbook is not an in-depth curriculum or anything like that, but it's more so like a gentle introduction of the alphabet, the numbers, the shapes, foods. I think it has like color words, same and different, sizes, opposites. It has the months of the year, days of the week, the 5 senses. It has things like the seasons and things of that nature. And so with this, I'm still searching for like a dedicated YouTube channel that I can use to go over this with them. But for the most part, I like that it has pronunciations in here. So even if I don't find a YouTube channel that's covering all of the subjects or the topics, I'm able to read out what it says. And so I really like it. It has like all about the family tree. So abuelo, padres, niños, months of the year, days of the week. And it's like a tracing thing. So it's like they're working on their handwriting, but there are some activities where they have to color or cut things out, color by number, match your objects based on the word. And so I really like it. So if you want to flip through this, let me know. I'll link all of this, all of these workbooks and things that I've talked about in my description box. So I can't give a flip through like this, but that's that. So Moving on, for science, I am going with a workbook approach this year, and I'm going with a workbook approach because I want to still cover a range of topics, but I want to make room or be I guess available for their interests, right? So if they're interested in something specific, then I will have the time to dive into unit studies, or I have the time to visit museums, or watch documentaries, do experiments, do subscription boxes and things of that nature. So I was like, I do still want to do a workbook to cover all of the topics that is usually covered in second grade, but I really wanted to be an interest-led, child-led approach to science. They do love the science shows, right? Like Wildcrats, Storybots, 82 Scientists. We've recently started the subscription for Male Science and stuff like that. We've done QE Code in the past, so it's different ways to cover science. And also, I almost forgot. Let me show you this workbook and let me talk to y'all about something new I created myself. So for the science, I'm using the Evermore Daily Science Workbook. I read and watched on videos that you should get the teacher edition. That way you could read, and plan and stuff. It gives you more details as opposed to just a student workbook. So that has been going really well for us, and it's like a page a day, different topics each week. And of course, if I wanted to make it hands-on, I could do whatever topic we're talking about, make it a field trip, watch a documentary, do an art project and things of that nature. So but I really like the girls to experience science like hands-on, whether we can observe things according to the seasons, or go to the pet store and actually see different stages, the nurseries for the gardens and farms and things of that nature. That's what I really love to do as a mom. But I'm like, I don't want to limit them to only knowing what they can see, right? You never know what their interest is or what they want to be, or whatever the case may be. So I do want to expose them to everything in this manner. Workbooks are usually so simple. They give you the basics, like the main topic, the big idea, and you can always just add more onto it. And so that's what I usually do. Yeah, the Evermore Daily Science is this. I love this. And then I also bought the Evermore skill sharpener for science, and I love this one because it is a review of the science topics. It's not the same as this one, but it's more so like a review, and then it's a hands-on craft at the end of every lesson. So I love it for that reason. It's not complicated at all, but it's not something that you would just give it to them if they don't know anything about the topics. So say for instance, at the end of this one, this is telling them to do a colorful handprint with an adult, right? And I think the topic was growing and changing. So it's talking about physical growth, and then how babies are, and then they grow up to be different ages, creating a timeline. And so with this one, it tells them to paint their hand, and I would paint my hand, or a parent would paint their hand, or an adult would paint their hand, and that would be the activity for that lesson. So I do like the skill sharpeners as well as the actual daily science workbook. I think it has its place. My girls love crafts, and so it just it helps me out with the crafts when I'm not being creative or wanting to look at different things. And so it's a good variety. I think it's really good for review. The only thing is it doesn't go in the same order as the daily science, so you just have to pair it based on the lessons that you're covering in each of them. But I like that. And then I also have something new that I ordered a few months ago, was the skill sharpeners for critical thinking. I think it's really important to get things that are for logic and critical thinking, and just challenging them in a different way. And so this is really fun. I asked some very outside of the box questions to get them thinking. She really enjoys it. It also has projects and crafts in here as well. And so I just feel like that's very important. She is gifted, right? And so I just want to challenge her. I don't want her to feel bored. And for a lot of these things, she can definitely do on her own. So I love the critical thinking workbook. And then I want to say that's all for her. I do have this 180 days of social emotional learning. I bought this last year. We really didn't do a lot out of here, but I've had great experiences with the 180 days workbook. So what I said I was going to do this year is take a page out for her and a page out for my 5-year-old, and so they can just work on different things, so I can work on it with both of them. My thing was, I don't want to buy anything that I'm not going to use, anything that's not a necessity, right? So if I can stick within what we already have and make that work this year, we can always add more onto it. But I have a lot of things that I have not used, so I'm like, we talk about social emotional learning, we talk about feelings, and read through books, right? We have a lot of books, we have posters, we have flashcards, but I still think this would be a good addition to just different scenarios, just give us more conversation starters and stuff like that. Yeah, that's that. And so I think that's it for us. Pretty simple, I would say. Very, very simple. I'm not trying to do too much. And I'm like, we just moved, you know, we just bought our first home. So I'm like, I don't want to add any extra expenses that are not necessary. Like if I had things that were not working, of course I would have ordered something else, but this is working for us so far, so we're gonna go with it. For my 5-year-old, we are doing the same things. We're doing the same thing. So I have her a tracing binder that I created for her, and I've shared this on here a good amount of times. So it's just some things that I think she would cover. It has pre-writing lines, it has days of the week, months of the year, shapes, things of that nature. They can trace the words, trace the shape, trace the number, days of the week, months of the year. It's really for her to like go in there independently and pick out the word that she's looking for. So say for instance she asked me how to spell August, or asked me how to spell brown, or something like that. I put it together so that she could be able to do those things herself, and so she loves that. I want them to be independent and be able to search out and find the answers themselves. So for math, we are doing the first grade math for confidence, and I have a review on this one as well. My girls really enjoyed this. I was thinking that, you know, I wanted to like search out and find something else, not because I don't like it, but I just like to see what else is out there. But I was like, they really love it, they really enjoy the games. It's not a lot of prep work and things of that nature, so I'm like, you know what, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I do love it. I really love it. Math for confidence for that. She's also doing the good and the beautiful language arts, and she enjoyed it. I feel like I just printed it off. As I said, it's free. Each level is free, and we always start like our new grade levels around the April month. Yeah, we're about not midway through, but we've done a good amount so far. Something else I have for her is the 180 Days of Science. We had already purchased this a few months ago, like when the books go on sale at Target and Amazon, like buy 2 get 1 free, or whatever the case may be. I try to get things that I think they would need and enjoy. So we didn't do a lot in this last year, but you know what, I said, since this is not requiring her to do a lot of writing, it's more so like reading and answering questions, this is going to be her science, right? And so usually with science I like to do this a group subject, but I was like, I like the one-on-one time with her. This does not require a lot of time. She actually does at least 3 to 5 pages a day because it's very, very simple. It's only 2 questions per page. It's black and white, so you have to add videos and pictures and things of that nature, but she's really enjoying it. So can you see? Very, very simple pages, and I love this book because I'm able to cover all of the subjects with her, as I said. And of course, when I do the 2nd grade workbook, I can just bring out the things and print them off, different crafts and things they can do together and stuff like that. But I do like to do one-on-one time with my 5-year-old in her individual subjects. I do like that. I learned a whole lot about her, and I think she benefits a lot from it, and she really enjoys doing this science, right? So we can talking about stuff, and this way, if I do it individually, I can see what her interests are, right? So I can see what she's interested in, what she would like to study more about, and of course giving her exposure to the different topics. I guess it's safe to say I do it individually and then I do it together, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is the 180 days of science. I've done the 180 days of geography in the past as well, so I'm a fan of the 180 days book. You just have to pair it with other things. For her, I also have the skill sharpener for 1st grade, and so, you know, as I said, it's for review. This is actually a workbook that my 6-year-old had started on last year. She didn't finish it, so I said what she didn't do, I will allow my 5-year-old to do for exposure and for the craft. you know, she likes to do crafts. We all enjoy crafts. So I was like, the things that have not been done, she can finish this up. And I think she'll enjoy it. So this reminds me that I need to get some sticky notes, some post-it notes to mark where we are. I have bookmarks. I need to get those out as well. But that's that. And then she has a Spanish workbook just like her sister. It's the same one. And I want to say that's all for the girl. Oh, she does do handwriting. So she has a little handwriting journal. We don't do like copywork or anything like that. I really just be intentional. So I'll have her get the dry erase board with the lines on it. I'll write her name for her and have her write it out again. Or what we're doing in the journal, we're practicing on a different letter each day. So, you know, teaching her the correct letter formation, just helping her if she's writing things backwards and stuff like that. So I don't have a particular curriculum that I'm using. I'm just doing one-on-one with them. And the same with my 6-year-old. Like she writes pretty good. But we're introducing cursive writing now, in a fun way. No pressure to write in cursive, but my teacher in kindergarten introduced me to cursive in kindergarten, and I was like, I was of course like 5 or 6 and she's 6, so I'm like, we started cursive last year in a fun way, right? It's a dry erase workbook, so she's been doing that, and we're going to continue to do that. And I'll just, you know, write different words and see if you can read those, and then work on the actual letter formation and stuff like that. And the last thing I want to talk about as far as curriculum is my new cooking curriculum. So I designed a 16-week cooking curriculum for my babies. So with us, I designed it to be gluten-free because we primarily eat gluten-free. Gluten-free and dairy-free. So it's 16 weeks. Each week they're going over different like fundamentals of cooking. So introduction to kitchen safety, kitchen utensils, mixing basics. So, you know, learning how to measure out and pour and stuff like that. And at the end of each week there is a new recipe for them to try. So it starts off very simple with a fruit salad, then we move on to like baking cookies, then baking muffins, then they do like pasta dishes, rice, what else, soups and stews. They'll be doing what else, something with eggs. So like, you know, talking about different types of egg, hard-boiled egg, and then like a scrambled egg, and talking about those different properties and stuff like that. I really wanted to like incorporate those life skills intentionally. So like for me, I feel like in terms of measurements, those are things that I've learned as an adult. Like, you know, it's 3 teaspoons and a tablespoon, and, you know, things of that nature. Like, what set of knives work for what? Like, I feel like you have to learn those things from cooking classes, or, you know, just asking other people or doing Google search. So I want to introduce that to them early so that it's fun, you know. They enjoy being in the kitchen, but I really want them to learn, right? I really want them to learn, and want them to learn and enjoy, you know, the beauties of homeschooling. So my goal for the cooking curriculum is to do it 1 day a week with the recipes. But as far as the topics, like, they're helping out in the kitchen daily. So we're just, you know, being intentional. You know, I want it to be memorable. So if the curriculum is ready, I'll have it linked in my description box. But I'm so excited, like so excited. Someone did message me and was like, hey, if you plan to offer this, I'd love to buy it because I want to do the same thing with my children. So I'm sharing it with you guys, right? But I will say, I'm missing one thing. Geography and history. So there are different ways that we cover geography. The Good and the Beautiful cover geography a little bit. We've had geography like subscription boxes, where we talk about, you know, this is from Kiwi Code, so this one was about continents and just different things like that. In the past, we've also done books about different countries and talked about the foods and stuff like that. So we found different ways to cover, you know, geography. And then as far as history, you know, we always want to expose them to our Black history every single day, whenever it's possible. So for me, I don't have a formal curriculum. I have a lot of Black history books here. I've shared like Beyond February in an older video when I picked up like books of Black history, and so I'm utilizing that resource. But I also said, since we have this book, if we did like 1 a week, 2 a week, they can learn a lot more about it. And so you know. And when we're covering things in science, we can look up, hey, we're talking about insects, we can look up what are the scientists that study bugs? I forgot. Like, it's on the tip of my tongue. I want to say it starts with an E. So scientists that study insects are entomologists. So we've done a study on Charles Henry Turner, who's a famous scientist who study bugs. We really go that route, like whatever they're interested in, I try to make sure they're represented in some way. And so we have quite a few of these types of books. So I felt like reading through these would be a good way to cover our Black history, just being intentional about it. And also my librarian, she's amazing at sharing different resources. She's always like calling me, or when we come in, she's giving me books that the girls should read, whether it's on Harlem Renaissance, that was the last book she gave me. She also gave me different books about, you know, civil rights and stuff like that. So I'm really appreciative that she's so willing to help me educate the girls. She's an older lady, I want to say in her 60s, I would say, and so she's amazing. So she helps me a whole lot, and I don't even think she knows it, but she always keeps me up to date on the library books and things that the girls can use to implement and read about and stuff like that. And so really with history, I want it to be like a literature base. So I want it to be that I read it to them, and if, you know, if it's something that I can do hands-on, I can do that. Like with the entomologists, we had like a book, since we've been at set up and stuff like that. But with civil rights, we can try to do the Civil Rights Museum, and go to different historical sites, right, and learn about different cultures and stuff like that. So like, I want to say in October we'll probably be going to the Native American festival. What is it called? And so I want them to be hands-on. Is it called Native American Festival? Oh, the Malvo Native American Festival. That's in October. So I'm writing out some field trips as far as history on my calendar early, so that we can just plan it out. We are from the Black Belt, so it's a lot of spots back in my hometown that I can take them to and give them a rundown on the history and stuff like that. A lot of museums I want to go see that's within an hour or two away from us, and just, you know, giving them all the history, let them soaking it up. My 6-year-old, she's older, she's starting to understand a lot more, she's starting to ask a whole lot of more questions, and so that's what we have so far. And I want to say that's about it. As far as social studies, you know, financing, is it finance? Economics, civics, history, geography. I'm missing one pillar of social studies, but we're all covering that in different ways. So yeah, I do want them to go to the state capitol. I do want them to go down to the city hall, meet the mayor and stuff like that. Talk about the branches of government, you know. But I don't want to do it in a worksheet type manner. I want it to be field trip based. I want them to be able to read the signs and learn the history and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's all I have as far as homeschool curriculum this year. Let me know if you have any questions or you want flip throughs of anything. Also share your favorite curriculum, right? What are you doing? Are you sticking to the basics of math and language arts? Are you adding in all the subjects? Are you doing a loop schedule? For us, it's a loop schedule. Don't mind the kids. It's a loop schedule, so we're doing math and language arts. I was rotating every other day, but I tried that for a week, and I feel like we can do math and language arts every single day, and then loop in the science, the cooking, and the Spanish. So I'm going to keep on working on our rotation, like our loop scheduling, and then, you know, alternate as I need to. I said I'm going to try it out for a month and figure out where I need to make the changes. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I'll see you guys in my next one.